What is up? What is up? This is your buddy Alert Wolf here to bring you another anime review, guys. This time it's of Hunter x Hunter, episode 84, A Fated Awakening. Now, woohoo, this episode. You know, it's funny. It is just one of these episodes that seemingly not too much happened, but in reality a whole bunch of things happened. And what I mean is, you know, seemingly this episode starts off, you know, a Kite and the rest are running through the, or not running through the, or walking through the forest looking for the nest. Meanwhile, they're being hunted by the tiger dude, or the lion dude and his team. And he sends down the flyers to assault them, and you know, they're chasing him, and he's waiting to hunt them like he hunts when he's a lion. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm just gonna give you the different parts of the episode and in this review. So he waits, stalking his prey in the brush, and then you know, part of the forest is destroyed. He gets word from one of his field commanders there, not field, the other flying dude, to retreat. He sees Kite and them walk out. Kite has the scythe, which is still nasty, and he's ordered. You know, he realizes by looking at him, he senses, and which is something carried over from the previous episode, like death coming off of Kite. Like if he fought Kite, he's gonna die. So he decides to back away and run away. And so he realizes that, you know, his time spent in the jungle is where he thought he was the strongest. Now he learns that, and that wasn't true, because he remembers him dying. So now he knows that at least they can learn. Now I'm gonna stop right there, and this is very important. We've seen this with Colt. We saw it with the frog last week, and now we see it with the tiger dude this week. Even when eaten, you tend to retain personality, and in these cases, memories of the original, where he even thought of himself as reborn. You know, as like that was his old life and this is his new life. That he considers himself the same being, just enhanced and with the ability to learn. He even says the ability to learn. This is very important, especially for, I believe, what's coming up between the fight of Gon and Colt, because I know those characters are going to fight. Now, again, guys, remember, don't read the manga, so I have no idea if I'm right or wrong on my predictions. If I'm wrong, just let me be wrong. But or unless you could correct me with some corroborating evidence of stuff I don't know, or I mean, not stuff I don't know, of stuff that I would have should already know. You know what I mean? Now they're gonna follow them and head back to, Kite and the rest are gonna follow them and try to get back to that nest. Meanwhile, back at the Est, we have Ramut and Owl Dude. And although some people told me he looked like a penguin, I think you're right with the coloring, but he kind of looks like a little bit of both. But I see both animals there. But let's go. All right, penguin dude. Let's go, penguin dude. So, and you know what it is? I'm remembering there's so many characters being introduced because of the ants that I'm remembering some of their names, but not all of them. You know, and some of the big ones like Ramut and Colt, I'm there. Kite, obviously, very easy. So they're searching for Pookie or Puka, whatever, Pookie, and basically the idea is they want to stop him from being eaten, so they could learn from him and possibly, you know, fight him to train the others. Now they can't find him. He actually had an antidote for poison hidden in one of his back teeth. He's hiding in the skull pile. And it's funny, the chef is a big fat pig, and I just love it. I just love it. I found it hilarious. But he doesn't have any talent for Ned. Now, Ramut is powering up, and he's thinking to himself that with this power, he could become king. And right then and there, we get who I like to think of the effed up MVP in this episode. I'm just saying. I'm gonna try to not butcher her name. Neferputu. Right? Neferputu, the cat. She comes out, one of the royal guards, beasting from jump, releasing an evil aura. So powerful that Ramut is shitting himself. She comes up to Ramut. Ramut immediately has to back down, you know, and he's worried. He's worried she's gonna kill him. So he bows to her. He gets on his knees, and she pats him on the head. And she's like, you know, he's thinking it was a short dream being king while it lasted, you know, and you know, her evil aura is oppressing him, and he's thinking, oh man, I'm just gonna die. She's just gonna get me. And she's like, nah, it's okay. Let's talk over there. We're fine. He goes, yeah, and instantly becomes a fanboy. I'm just saying. He then realizes his true purpose in life, which is his power isn't to be to usurp the throne. No, it's to aid the royal guard, to aid the king. It's there. His power exists to protect and to be used for them, and that gives him clarity. And finally, that chip that has been on his shoulder is gone, because now he gets it, which is what Colt had been trying to tell him the whole time. Yeah, so like I said, some people are just hard-headed, but at least he knows what he is. Now, the reason why I was giving her the MVP is what happens next. And this is where this episode goes real dark, and I like it. So, she immediately identifies what's-his-face, Pookie, hiding in the rubble. Ramut captures him. And now that they're in trouble. And he couldn't believe, by the way, what an evil presence she had. An evil aura. Like, it was tremendous. Because, you know, obviously he could sense it too. Now, she goes into Owl or Penguin Dude's room. Alright, let's just call him Penguin Dude now. She goes inside his room. And she's reading a book on the anatomy of the brain of humans. And she finds out what part of the brains control long and short-term memory. And I'm like, what is she trying to do? I'm thinking she's trying to figure out how to use Nen. And I'm right, but I wasn't that right. I didn't realize how she was gonna do that. Then she calls over, like, you know, a nobody, a fodder ant who still looks like a bug, rips off 2 of his antennae, and is gonna use it like pins. Like they look like needles you would use to weave something, you know. And I'm like, oh no, like a ball of yarn or something. Next thing you see is he's laying in what looks like, you hear him talking, and Pookie, and he's laying down naked. And it almost looks like he's laying in a psychiatrist's chair. She is literally like performing open brain surgery on him, stimulating certain parts of his brain with the needles, forcing him to tell what he knows. And he does. He reveals everything they need to know about Nen, how to make it, what's it about, everything. The specialists, all that, enhancer and emitters, and it's pretty crazy. So, you know, the next thing you know, now they're gonna do the water cup test trick, and they're gonna see what type of Nen user people are, and you know, so Ramut's first up, and he tries, and the water overflows, and so that means he's an enhancer. Is it an enhancer or an emitter? Hold on a second. Yeah, I was right. An enhancer. So that was his thing, and then hers, when she did it, the leaf disintegrated. That makes her a specialist. And I'm like, really? He's like, really? To think somebody like you was born, and there you go. And she's like, well, we don't need the human anymore. You can just feed him to the queen. We know everything we need to know. And she also explains that the reason why what's-his-face powers were activated is because of the hit. It opened up, like, sealed pores that contain Nen, thus awakening his Nen. And he's like, yeah, Colt thought that happened too because of the human fight. So then he had Ramut open his thing. So now, and then you see Colt powering up. So he's like, couldn't we use Ramut to do that for everybody? She's like, yeah, sure, why not? And that's the episode, guys. You know, that's messed up. That was really, this poor dude, man, naked, he's betraying humanity, he's being, like, live experimented on, brain surgery. Like, I just thought he was gonna get eaten. This is so much worse than just regular getting eaten, huh? But, you know, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. So, the rating for this episode is gonna be 3.5 out of 5. And I know what you're thinking from my voice. It sounds like I like the episode more than 3.5. But when you really look at it, again, not much happened. But then again, so much stuff happened. You know what I mean? As far as setting up the conflict goes and where things are headed, it's so cool. But I'm really enjoying this arc. You know, I enjoy, you know, if Green Island was about more or less the light side, even though it got a little bloody, and it was the beginning of the gore, actually. But this arc is so much darker. I am loving every second of it, so I can't wait for more. But that's enough out of me. So click it up if you like it, comment if you must, and please, please, please subscribe if you can. This is your buddy Alert Wolf signing out.